Sure, I'll call the tenant. Hello, it's my first time posting here so I'm kinda nervous. Also, English is not my first language, and I don't have all details because I wasn't there, but I'll do my best. This story is about a job I just quit, and I doubt someone there uses Reddit, so I'll share it with you. Here we go. We were moving to another office, so things were chaotic. Days were really hot, so when we discovered our new office didn't have any A/C, we were crushed. We tried to work there anyway, but two members started getting dizzy and weak, so we called our boss. He was solving some problems on our previous location, but told us to go home and not come the next day, since he'd buy a new AC and install it then. We were happy with the free day off, and my boss went on his way to buy the equipment. This story is about what happened when he bought it. So, this new office was somewhere fancy. Our boss was a tenant in this building, and there were doctors, lawyers, dentists, all kind of fancy people. Everyone wore suit and tie and, since most of the tenants were rich, the building's workers were super polite, mostly because some tenants were rude to them, acted entitled and tried to get them fired for petty reasons. Anyway, my boss called some of his friends and said, "Hey, would you help me install an AC on my new office? I'll pay you with some beers," and they accepted. Since it was, again, really hot, my boss and their friends went there the next morning wearing tank tops, shorts, and sandals. They were greeted by someone who worked there. I don't remember his name, but I'll call him assistant. That knew who my boss was and would follow him around, answer his questions, help him with any infos about the building or the room. You know, a good human being. He was supposed to know all tenants, so everybody liked him, but I guess he wasn't in a leadership position because his workmates didn't seem to enjoy his presence. He didn't seem to care, though. So, assistant greeted my boss and followed him to our new room. My boss said he saw the receptionist look at them with disgust because of their clothes, but didn't think much about it. What were they supposed to do? There was only one entrance. They went upstairs and started working. Eventually, my boss noticed he forgot some tool in his car. No prob. Assistant went with him, they got it, and came back. At the reception, again Mr. Receptionist looked annoyed. Met. My boss, who I admit wasn't the most organized, noticed he forgot to buy something. Okie dokie. Assistant, always happy to help, followed him to the entrance and waited for him to buy the tool somewhere near and come back. Again, as they got in, receptionist looked pissed. For the third time, my boss had to go through the reception to do something or get something he forgot. Assistant went with him, assuring him it was okay and he had every right to come and go as he pleased. But this time, receptionist had enough. When my boss got into the building, he saw receptionist came in his direction, fuming. But he didn't say anything to my boss. Instead, he went straight to assistant and, completely ignoring my boss, said something along the lines of, "What the hell is this? Why are those people coming and going like there's no order in this building? Why don't you do anything?" Assistant just looked at him and said calmly, "I'm sorry, but they need to make as many trips as necessary to install their new AC today, so that tomorrow the team can work without any interruption or discomfort." "I don't care," said receptionist. "Those people are annoying our staff, our guests, and our tenants. This building is no place for them. If you don't stop this mess right now, I'm gonna call the tenant and tell them you're allowing such people in his new office." I think you can guess what happened next. According to my boss, assistant's face lit up and he smiled. "Oh, really? Please do. You can talk to the tenant right now, if you'd like," and he turned to my boss, who just looked at him with an innocent "Yes, how can I help you?" face. My boss said that receptionist's face went white. He tried to say something, but couldn't pick the words, so he just left in a hurry. My boss and assistant laughed a while about it and went back to the office. The AC got installed and we worked the next day with ease.
Now to the comments. Receptionist freaked out because the tenant could have reversed it and complained to his boss how the receptionist was rude to a tenant and staff if he wanted.
OP replied. That's right, he freaked out because my boss could just throw a fit about how he was rude and should be fired, and honestly, given how things were there, I think the receptionist would be fired after that, but my boss was satisfied with that scene and didn't bother.
Well, this receptionist just had his antics seriously adjusted. If you get him fired, you might have to do that again with the next one. At least this one won't dare to antagonize any of your boss's employees, contractors, or customers. Please tell me she called the tenant and the phone rang in front of her.
That's what I was hoping too.
So was I. WTF was up with the receptionist? New tenant moving in. Of course, there will be folks going in and out. None of them in business clothes. Workers moving furniture and boxes, HVAC techs, electricians, network folks, etc., etc., etc. I've moved offices, working from both sides. I've been a mover and network person. When I was going to be pulling cable, installing racks, installing ports, I know I'm going to crawling into some dirty places. So, no business clothes? As a new tenant, I'm still in working clothes, as I know I'm going to be directing the movers, looking at the work of the skilled trades, and moving my personal stuff too.
OP replied. You're so right, we spent days moving boxes, installing cables, calling internet/phone support, etc., etc. We didn't wear fancy clothes for that, but didn't wear tank tops either. I think we just never came when that weird guy was working.
That was delightful, thanks for sharing it.
OP replied. Happy to share cool stories.
Imagine being upset someone had the audacity to use the front door. Absolutely insane. How dare they consider walking through the entrance of a building? What?
OP replied. Guess I'll have to helicopter myself in next time.